Hi, it's Rabbi Lewis here again from my study at Mitzvah Congregation. Uh, share a few more thoughts with you about what's going on in our world today. Um, I was at Whole Foods this past weekend, and there was a line of about 20 to 30 minutes to just get into the store because they were practicing social distancing, and there was limited number of people getting into the store at a given time. And so everybody was standing on these yellow lines that were spaced 6 feet apart from each other as we waited for admittance into the store. And that whole time that everybody stood outside, we're looking at each other and wondering if they were abiding by the distancing, wondering if this was a person who may knowingly or unknowingly be carrying the coronavirus with them. And then you walk into the store after having that suspicion of the people standing around you, and you're trying to make sure if you see somebody walking down an aisle, maybe you go down the other aisle and go around way out of your way to get to the food you're looking for. If you're approaching the cashier at the same time, you both veer in different directions so that you don't come too close together. Everybody's eyeing each other suspiciously, wondering if this is the person who's not going to abide by the social distancing and then will accidentally be the one to give me this virus that could end the life, or that I pass to someone else accidentally could end their life. Is this the person who's going to inflict harm on me? And I think this is the thing that is really destroying us right now. There's so many tragedies individually right now. The numbers keep growing. On a micro level, the suffering is profound. When we step back and look at things on a macro level now, and we're going to look at what I feel to be the larger tragedy of everything that's happening right now, is that we're losing trust and faith in each other. We're eyeing every single person that we encounter, even people that we know well, with suspicion. For no fault of their own even. But we're being forced to look upon each other as people who have the potential to cause us harm. This is something that we must address, and something that we really should be aware of, because when we do end up moving forward from this time, whenever that will be, we need to reframe our lives so that we actually see each other no longer as potential threats, but we allow our general society, our friends and neighbors, to be brought back in as people who are naturally given the benefit of the doubt and people that we want to greet warmly, people who we feel safe and comfortable being near. There will be a time again when that becomes possible. But it's a struggle right now. So I've been thinking about what in Jewish tradition can help us to address this and cope with it. And I turn back to the famous dictum in Pirkei Avot by Rabbi Hillel. It said, Imein ani li mili. If I'm not for myself, what am I? If we forget to look out for ourselves and for our immediate sphere of influence, our families, then we're nothing. And that's what we're doing right now. Even when we look upon others with suspicion, we're looking out for ourselves, and we must. But the next part of it is the thing that's going to help us to move onward. Uksha'ani la'atzmi ma'ani. If I'm only for myself, what am I? And that is that we must remember that when we look to the other person, that we know that they're feeling the same fears. They have the same concerns that we do. That if we can in any way reassure them that we're not judging, we're just hoping that they're taking the same precautions that we are. We act communally. We act on the benefit of protecting ourselves so that we can also protect them. That's the safer way and a larger view to think of this. Protecting ourselves is protecting them too. The Torah portion this week, Parashat Tzav, It's talking further about sacrifices. And we have the individual sacrifices that get brought for atonement to the temple. And the rabbis will teach, well, what's the point of bringing an individual sacrifice and doing so publicly, and especially when an atonement sacrifice is something that's so personal. And it's so that the people, the rest of the community, can see that the other person or the individual is taking precautions to make sure that they've done their work for atonement, because they had the belief that if one person did something wrong and they didn't make atonement for it properly, that there could be larger ramifications on everybody. So when one person failed to act rightly, that it actually affected the entire community. And so they did so publicly to make sure that everyone saw that they were doing what was within their power to make things go well. So private atonement done publicly for the greater good. Which brings us to the last piece of Hillel's dictum. Ve'im lo achshav eimatai. If not now, when? And that eimatai is not just when. Usually when we see a at the beginning of a word in a Hebrew question, it means when, right? If not now. If we haven't started taking notice of needing to make these changes, when? The time is now. If we are not going out of our way to protect ourselves, if not now, when? If we're not going out of our way to make sure that we protect other people, if not now, when? If we're not going out of our way to make sure that other people who may be shut in or secluded, if we're not making sure that they get what they need, if not now, when? The time is now. And again, when we move on from this, whenever that will be, we'll have to remember we've done this for ourselves. We've done this for the good of others. And the time is now to make sure that we know that everyone is feeling warm, protected, and embraced. So may it be that we all find ways to do that and express that in our lives, whether it's a gentle nod or a smile to somebody, cracking a joke about the awkwardness of the social distancing so that we're all at ease, or even just saying thank you to the people at the grocery stores or the hardware stores, or thank you to the police officers that are helping to still protect us. Thank you to medical professionals that we know, making sure that everybody knows that we are feeling that we're in this together. We protect ourselves, imenani li mili, uksha'ani la'atzmi ma'ani, that we know that it's not just about us, that we're doing it for them too. Ve'im lo achshav eimatai, and we're doing it now because we want change to happen and we want the better future to begin now. Shalom.